Hello, I wanted to take a few minutes to go over some of the topics that are in the first section of notes, which is section 1.1. I want to look at number 1. Now, you're wanting to find the sum, so we are going to use the formula S equals N over 2 plus, or times A1 plus A1. N is the number of terms, A1 is the first term, and then AN is the last term. So in A, you're adding up all the numbers from 1 to 97. So N is 97, A1 is 1, and AN is 97. So to get the sum, you would take 97 divided by 2, first term is 1, last term is 97. So we end up with 4,753. On B, you're asked to add up the odd numbers from 1 to 1005. To find the number of terms, you would take 1005, subtract 1, and divide that by 2 because we are counting by 2, so I only want half of the digits. So 1004 divided by 2, 502. Now this 502 right here counts all of the numbers between or after 1 all the way to 1005. So what I need to do to include the 1 is just add one number. So there's actually 503 terms. So to find the difference, or to find the sum, you take 503 divided by 2, and then the first term is 1, and the last term is 1005. And that will give you the sum. Now, we're counting by 2's up here, so I divided by 2. If we were counting by 5's, I would divide by 5. If I was counting by 10's, I would divide by 10. But you always have to add back 1 because this method only includes one of the end points, so you have to go back and add the other one. The next one I want to look at is number 2. Number 2, we are adding the numbers starting with 53 and going all the way to 144. So to find N, I'm going to take 144, subtract 53. I don't have to divide by anything because we are counting by ones. That gives me 91. Now I have to add 1 to that to count both endpoints. So there's actually 92 terms starting with 53 and going to 144. So to get the sum, I would take 92 divided by 2. The first term is 53 and the last term is 144, which gives us a sum of 9,062. On number 3, you just need to really make a chart. You need to organize your chart, like start with the biggest number of packages or start with the smallest number of packages. Either way, that will help you keep on track and make sure that you don't miss any. Number 4 is pretty much straightforward. Read through the problem, put them in order. Number 5, you need to begin on the end with the 3, the blank, and the 8 and figure out what that number would be. And so the sum of those 3 consecutive digits is 12, and then work backwards from there. Number 6, you set up 2 expressions, one for compass, one for the ruler, and then add the 2 together, and that will cost $6. Number 7, I just drew a picture to illustrate what Kathy is doing. So for number 7, I started with, okay, here's Kathy in the middle. It says she climbed up 6. So I drew 6 steps up. Then she moved down 2. So there's her 2. Then she climbed up 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Then she climbed up 1 more. And then how many rungs are in the entire ladder? Here was Kathy in the middle. So here's Kathy. So count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. There should have been 12 above, 12 below, and then that would be 24 plus the one that she's standing on, so that would be 25. Now on to number 8, I think it's pretty straightforward there. You just set up a number line, fill in the distances as you're given to them, as you're given them to you, and then go from there. Now I did have a question about number 9. On number 9, you're talking about doing the magic square. Now this problem is a little bit of trial and error. If you look on my magic square in my example, I'm given 8, 9, 10, 17, 18, 19, 26, 27, and 28. Now I added up all of those digits. I got a sum of 162. Then I took the 162, divided that by 3, because it's a 3 by 3 square. So what that meant was all of my rows, columns, and diagonals had to add up to be 54. The next thing that I did was I took these numbers that you're given and I figured up all the different ways I could take 3 at a time and end up with 54, and I made that list. Now, since your original square has a 9 already in it, I looked at all the ones that had a 9. So since the square that you had to fill in already had a 9 right here, I looked at all of the different triples of numbers that had 9s in them, and I had to decide which one to start with, and just start with one. It couldn't have a 10 in it if it had a 9 in it, because there's also a 10 in here. So say I started with the 27 plus the 9 plus the 18. Say I tried that one. So I would try putting, now I have a 9 already here, so I need to look at the 27 and the 18 and see if I have a 27 plus a 10, and I do. So I could put the 27 here and then put the 18 here. Now since the 27 is paired with a 10, I would look and I would have to put a 17 here. Now I looked for 18 and 17, and they are together with 19. Then I looked at the 19 and what would go with 9 and 19, and I would have to have a 26 here. Now 26 and 17, do I have a pair that has 26 and 17? And I do not. So that means that I would not use the 27, the 9, and the 18. So now I moved to a different one, and I looked at the 9, the 26, and the 19, and then I just started filling them in until I got one that worked. And that's really the best way and the only way that I know how to work that problem.